Most people think their weekly plan fails because they are bad at sticking to it. But the truth is, the plan was either never built or was never built for the life that they actually live. A week that works in the real world has to bend and survive the mess. The sick kids, the deadlines, the traffic, the sudden phone call, that throws everything up in the air. And if your plan doesn't account for that, for real life happening, you'll be relying on willpower from the start of the day to the end of the day instead of the plan that you actually built. So here's the simplest way to go about designing your week so your routine works for you and your family. All you need is a pen and paper or the app of your choice. Number one, most people do this backwards. They start by picking apart the previous week. Everything that didn't work out. They look at all of the unfinished tasks, every plan that went sideways, and then they start to feel really bad. And then they feel that slow sinking in. By the time they go to start planning for the next week, their energy is already low and maybe they're feeling a little not too good about themselves. If you are planning for next week, don't review last week or this week just yet. Not yet. Skip the review for now, because here's what will happen if you don't. You'll spend 30 minutes fussing over every little thing that you didn't do, rewriting the same tasks and carrying over the same tasks. And by the time you are ready to plan for your future, you are already mentally checked out. This brings us to the second point. The most common mistake I see is people listing everything that they want to do and then trying to cram it all into the week, like stuffing an overfilled suitcase. It doesn't matter how neatly you pack it or how many packing cubes you use. The thing it just will not close, and your whole routine will collapse before Monday is over. Instead, flip the process. Look at the week ahead and start with your limits. What fixed commitments are already there? Work shift, appointments, school runs, deadlines that you absolutely have to meet, things you cannot avoid. Then what's your realistic energy level? Where are the busiest or most unpredictable points? These are the rocks that go in the jar. They go in first, and once those are in place, we can then fill the gaps with optional tasks and projects that we can realistically do. This way, you stop creating for a fantasy week that collapses on contact with your real life, and you give yourself and your schedule breathing room to actually work for you. So now we're planning for next week. Lay out the bones. Every family or every person has 1, 2, or 3 things that hold everything else up. For some, it is midweek laundry so that the mornings are not chaotic, meal prepping on Sunday so there's something decent to eat, or a Friday budget check, right, to keep the bills from piling up. What are those 1, 2, or 3 things that when you do them, make everything else run smoother? Account for those and treat them as your non-negotiable. Next, lots of people try to manage your weeks by color coding every hour in the calendar, aka overscheduling. The problem is life does not stick to our grids, no matter how beautiful and pretty and gorgeous they are. A meeting runs over, a school call comes in, you hit traffic, and now the plan's in pieces. Instead of micromanaging every block, be intentional with the limited time you and I have, and do only the top priority items. I know, we want to read at night, after cooking dinner, after feeding the kids and cleaning up and sending them to bed, after stretching, after doing a bit of all 5 of our hobbies. I know, I am you, we are each other. Unfortunately, we only have so many hours in a day, so our wants, the things we want to do, are impossible to attain, let alone maintain. We must choose what matters most and commit to those things. Schedule the items that are actually doable and are top priority. Everything else, unfortunately, does not get done. Next, most people plan their week for the best version of their lives. The ones where they always have energy, they're always on time, and they're never disrupted. But life happens, and when it does, the whole plan falls apart. Instead, decide what your floor is, the minimum viable version of your routine, the smallest version of your habit that you can do even on your worst days. For some, that's a 10-minute walk instead of a 1-hour one. You can go above the floor if you have the capacity for it, if you have the energy, if you have the time, but you never drop below it because it is the minimum viable version of your routine. This keeps you from having crash days that undo all of your progress. If you enjoy this video, you'll enjoy this one here, where I share 3 tiny systems I use in my day-to-day life that have completely transformed how I eat, how I work, and how I think. I will see you there.